know if you, I mean, we're talking to people that come from all over the world, mostly Europe, but have you ever noticed that the things that you did without thinking were identical to what they were doing over there? Well, that was the problem with us. The things that we were doing, nobody else was doing. I went to our sister tribe in Oklahoma and found out that they were doing the same things we were doing, and doing them in the same way. Their thought patterns were the same. The things that they honored were the same. It really, well, I'll tell you what it was. Do you remember, any of you guys see Roots? Well, Roots is an eye-opener for almost everybody that's out here, because everybody wants to know who they are. And when I asked my mother, when I was a kid, my mother said, you don't need to know that. And Grandma, Aunt Mary, and Aunt Mabel would all go in a room and shut the door. You kids go outside. It's too nice. It's snowing like the dickens outside. Go outside. We need to talk. And they would talk about the old things that they weren't allowed to talk about in public. And one day I was in my mom's picture box. Well, we keep everything. And I went into this picture box and I saw, Nanny's is my grandma, and I saw a picture of Nanny's out in the garden with a headband on. And I said, wow. I said, Mom, I said, I thought she wasn't allowed. No, we did what we wanted to on the farm. And things like that. And then she said, you're old enough. And she gave me a bowl and a war club. And I said, Mom, can you explain it? The war club is actually has what y'all would call hieroglyphics or something on it. I couldn't understand it. And I've had it for some 30 years. I've taken it to the other reservations because these are my people and they would understand. Nobody understood. And then a young Indian from Ontario would come up and he said, let me see that. And he put it, it's got a great big ball on it with a turtle on it. And he put it on the table. Every time I put it on the table, it just rolls over because it's a ball. He put it on the table without even thinking, and it stood right there. He said, Mark, this came from the Longhouse ceremony. I said, what are these markings on it for? He said, I can only read some because it went back into the history. He said, but this is your family. These markings, nobody else can read them but somebody in your family, so you need to find somebody in your family. Well, one of the things that really happened with this is all those that can read it are gone in my family. So I have something that I cherish very much. It was locked away. You getting ready to run me out of here? Oh, I thought she was giving me that high sign. It's time to But one of the things, I think I've talked too much already, because once I start talking about my family, I just keep going. But there's something that I wanted to let everybody know. White Otter, Dennis Coker is the chief of the Lenape from the other half of my family. And I would like for him, now he talks as much as I do, so we're going to have to get him. Dennis, would you come here a minute?
Welcome everybody. I want to thank the Historical Society of Pennsylvania, and the Penn Museum, or the Penn Treaty Museum. And mainly I'd like to thank Chief Mark Gould from the Lenape. As he said, we're family. My mother is actually from his community, and my father was from my community. Her father was from my community. So as you can very well see, that those two communities have been moving back and forth across the river for quite some time. And I do share the sentiments of Mark. We are in a struggle to maintain our connection to our culture. Through the years, we've all struggled to discover, to reconnect with the culture. I know in my particular region of the country, it was very easy, as it was for Mark, to identify who your people were. We actually had our own schools. We actually had our own designation on our licenses. So it was very easy when you look up and down the street. And the town I lived in, you know, you move out 42 from Cheswold and every house on both sides of the street is family. And we recently had SEDATA designation, which is a state designated tribal area designation for our tribal community. So we had our own census block created, and inside that census block, we're actually 20% of the population of that census block. So that's quite a high number, so it shows you the focus, the unity, the cohesiveness of our community still. So just to give you an idea that we're still here and we are moving forward, and we're struggling to do so. So I will end it with that since we're on somewhat of a time restraint, but I thank everyone.